From Central Indiana's #1 news source, this is Fox 59 Tonight.
Hey, good evening to you. Thanks for joining us here on Fox 59 Tonight. I'm Cameron Little. Thanks for downloading our new Smart TV app on your Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV, and now on Samsung Smart TV. Just look for that pretty blue logo wherever you download apps on your Smart TV. And if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you never miss any of the conversations that we have every night at 8 o'clock here on Fox 59 Tonight. We're going to talk about what's happening on the East Side of Indianapolis. We check in with one of our East Side community leaders who is working year-round, giving back, helping the community, and has just a good pulse on what is happening on the East Side, and lately has been trying to raise some awareness about some issues with apartments on the East Side. To talk more about what's happening on the East End of Indianapolis, Dee Ross is in the studio. Dee, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right, and thank you for inviting me on.
No problem. It's been a long time since we got a chance to sit down and talk.
Yes.
Last time we talked, neither one of us were dads, and now we've got babies with their first birthdays in September. So
Yes.
uh, life is popping. Life is jumping right now. It's good.
Absolutely. Absolutely. My daughter will be 1 September 26th.
I got September 8th, so it's it's going, man, and it just life is lifing. And
Yes.
with that said, you still have not stopped trying to help other people in their life.
Yeah, man. It's going on 12 years. I've been doing this work consistently on a committed mission and vision to eradicate systemic poverty and really address the social determinants of health.
Mhm.
So we, as an organization with the Ross Foundation, address housing insecurity. We address mental health insecurities. We address food insecurity. Also, we address education insecurity, and then also we take pride in being one of the biggest grassroots organizations in the entire state.
What is when first of all, where is the Ross Foundation over on the East Side? Give us
Yeah,
let us
yeah. So
know.
the Ross Foundation is on the headquarters is off of 42nd and Post Road. Uh, if you don't know about that community is a resource desert.
Hmm.
When it comes to one of the biggest food deserts in the Midwest, one of the highest eviction rates in the entire state, one of the highest homicide rates in the entire state, sex trafficking, drug trafficking, whatever overdoses, you name it. 42nd and Post Road is at the top of the list. And that is a community where I was born and raised
Hmm.
in. And I take special pride of that community of really representing the Far East Side. But our headquarters is there, and just recently, we went from citywide
Hmm.
to a statewide serving organization, and now we're in so many other urban and rural communities because what we realize is, in order to get some particular laws changed
Hmm.
and policies addressed, we have to organize other cities and states to be in this fight with us to address the systemic poverty that's on the Far East Side.
Um, does what you do you feel like you're ever going to go out of business? Meaning, if your job is to solve problems, are problems, I mean, it's not, you're assisting people
Yeah,
through problems,
yeah.
but the problems never seem to go away, right?
No, the problems is, once you address one problem, it's like another problem pops up. It's like every evolving.
Mm-hmm.
And, a lot of people don't know I went to school originally for mechanical engineering.
Mm-hmm.
And so engineering is about solving problems. And so now I call myself a community engineer
Mm-hmm.
because, I really take uh I really take passion into what I do. Addressing the root causes.
Mm-hmm.
Everything I do is about getting to the root and not putting a band-aid on things. I got to solve the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been systemically wrong with nonprofits in the past is they tend to just address the band-aid,
Mm-hmm.
the aftermath, but not the stem.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have to continue to address the stem. If we address the stem, I think we can eliminate all problems one day.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the goal is to get to a place in society where we don't need nonprofits.
Right.
And nonprofits is really just the gap filler
Hmm.
of what we deserve to have in our community.
On the east side, I know one of the things that you've been passionate about is obviously getting resources, getting the city to pay attention, the mayor, city county councilors, state reps. Do you feel like you're making any progress?
You know, I know they listening,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I know they watching my my rants and my posts. I know I have sat in certain meetings,
Mm-hmm.
and because I sat on the Indiana Housing Task Force for the state with
Mm-hmm.
the governor, the last governor, previous governor, and also I now currently sit on the Blueprint Council, which tackles homelessness for the city. And so, yeah, I feel like I have developed a reputation that I represent a certain population
Mm-hmm.
that usually is unheard, unseen, and not having a voice. And I stand as that gap.
Mm-hmm.
And I take pride in that,
Mm-hmm.
being young, being a millennial in this space. We need more millennials and young people in these spaces to give a different perspective, a youthful perspective,
Mm-hmm.
a more today perspective of what's going on because what's happening now wasn't happening and then it's not wasn't happening in 1980s and
Mm-hmm.
90s.
Mm-hmm.
So we need fresher voices, newer ideas, more innovation to really tackle these epidemics.
Once upon a time, you ran for city county councilor.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll get back into a run for politics, or have you figured out you're more helpful in this nonprofit other side that you're in?
I'll never say never. And the reason why I am a if not who then who, I mean, if not when then who type of
Mm-hmm.
person,
Mm-hmm.
because if I see some challenges that is so significant
Mm-hmm.
and it's not being raised on a platform it needs to be raised, then I may consider like I have no choice.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get in that space so I can have that platform to elevate these conversations to push this needle forward. But yeah, I mean, I think what I was able to do when I did run for city council was show that I could swing votes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people believe in my principles and my concept and my approach. And so I was able to show that that I have some type of power in our communities, and so I used that power to be able to say, hey, to get in certain rooms that I usually wasn't in before I ran for office.
Mm-hmm.
And now, because now I'm more respected in that space, like, oh, the people are listening to
Right.
you.
Right.
And so now I look at it as a great opportunity to be on the outside of the politics
Mm-hmm.
because now I can engage both parties, the main top parties of Democrats and Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
But because once you side with the Democrats or side with the Republicans, it's hard to get them to change
Mm-hmm.
policies and laws or work together.
Mm-hmm.
And usually it's party and versus what the people want.
Right. Um, how do you think? 'Cause I drive through the east side now every day, twice a day
Yeah.
from my school bus route that goes over there. Um, and as you said earlier, it's still a resource desert. And I was thinking as I was literally driving this morning, I was like, oh yeah, that used to be a Walmart over off 30th and Midhofer. And then I go by the Kroger, we used to be at 38th and Post. Um, we've seen, little mom and pop grocery store pop up, come and go, but still not really anything.
Yeah, it's crazy. I feel like I always say the Far East Side is like the forgotten city,
Mm-hmm.
forgotten island, forgotten neighborhood. It's like its own city,
Mm-hmm.
and like so many resources and services is not being addressed. And so that's why our headquarters is over there because it's like we have to stand up for this community as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I mean that is crazy. I remember a time where a Walmart going out of business. If we would have said today a Walmart was going out of business,
Mhm.
two Walmarts
Mhm.
went out of business on the Far East Side.
Mhm.
The one on 30th and Mayhofer you spoke of, and the one on 30th and Mayhofer you spoke of, and the one on 38th and Franklin.
Yep.
And
Yep.
so that was two staple grocery stores in our community.
Mhm.
I'm like, that's how you know it is a more significant problem going on. Of course, we
Mhm.
got Amazon
Mhm.
and we got the fresh markets and all the different things coming
Mhm.
in,
Mhm.
but Walmart going out of business.
Mhm.
So it just shows you about the economic status of that community, where it's deeper than just people not making livable wages, but also it is systemic. It's systemically designed for that community not to thrive.
Well, I'm even thinking, from where you're at, because you're at 46th.
42nd.
You're at 42nd, excuse
Yep.
me. The nearest store, I mean, you got Menards down there, which technically has food, but
No.
nobody goes to Menards to shop for grocery. Pendleton Pike, Walmart to the north, and then to the south, I guess you got to go all the way to Washington Street.
Yep. All the way to Myers on Washington Street or
Mm-hmm.
Walmart.
On Washington.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all the way out there. And so you think about it, the closest libraries to 42nd and Post, which has one of the poorest reading literacy rates,
Mm-hmm.
uh, is an hour walking distance.
Mm-hmm.
So the grocery stores are further than that.
Mm-hmm.
So you got Warren Township Library, you got the Fort Harrison Library, but for 42nd and Post,
Mm-hmm.
that's an hour
Mm-hmm.
walking and an hour and a half to Warren Township.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of people don't put those things into perspective because the violence was trickling and boiling over from 42nd and Post.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't put out the burner fire, because we're the only area that has Warren surrounding us,
Mm-hmm.
Lawrence surrounding us, like we're
Mm-hmm.
right there,
Mm-hmm.
Greenfield,
Mm-hmm.
the city of Indianapolis,
Mm-hmm.
all wrapped around Cumberland as well, right there too. Why aren't they working together
Mm-hmm.
to put all their resources into this community, the Far East Side, to make sure that we put out these burning fires? Because now what they are starting to see is the aftermath of not addressing the root causes and not putting out the fires.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're starting to see violence go up in their communities. Now they're starting to see burglaries go up in their communities.
Mm-hmm.
They start seeing overdoses happen in their communities. Now, now people are starting to go to their schools because the schools has closed down in those communities,
Mm-hmm.
and now they wasn't prepared.
Mm-hmm.
They have no choice but to accept because rightfully, we're in those townships.
Mm-hmm.
We pay taxes in those townships, but we've been neglected for too long.
Um, Talk about the Rouse Foundation and what you guys do
Yeah.
on a daily basis. Who comes in the door and how do you serve them?
Yeah, I mean, so the Far East Side is different now. When we first started, it was predominantly African American, and we have a few white families, and then we also had a low but increasing Hispanic population. And so over time, we have seen a whole sliding scale of the representation of our communities. Now we have more Haitian population, Haitian Creole populations. We also have more Hispanic speaking populations, um, with Spanish speaking populations. And so now we have to continue to adjust to the representation of our community. So now we just hire
Mm-hmm.
someone that is Spanish speaking, and also speaks a little Creole as well, because we have to make sure that we are addressing their issues as well as a community. But if you come through the Ross Center, so a lot of people don't know, I'm the youngest person in Indiana to open up a community center,
Mm-hmm.
and I take pride in that. And also one of the youngest people to build a park in that community as well. And so you walk through the doors. You have access to our food pantry every Tuesday and Wednesdays. From
How are you guys staffing that and putting food in there?
Yeah. So we partner with Gleaners, but we also have a community garden, and then we also you know, We combine our fresh produce with that produce, and we try to provide healthy food options only.
Mm-hmm.
And we also listen to what the community needs. So, we may throw some meat in there.
Mm-hmm.
They say, hey, we really need this, or some milk or whatever, and not just try to provide fruit and vegetables. We try to put some other things in there that they can really lean on for that month. But yeah, it's Tuesdays and Wednesdays. We have hundreds of people coming every week just to that alone. And then we also have inside holistic therapy. A lot of people don't take advantage of this.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't just serve kids, but majority of our participants are youth.
Mm-hmm.
We serve adults as well. Our hours are open from operations is 11 to 7, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Most community centers in Indianapolis close at 5 p.m. And that's why we extended it to 7 p.m.
What's going on between 5 and 7?
Woo. Kids are getting out of school.
Mm-hmm.
They finally getting home. A lot of violence is happening. A lot of fights is happening. There are no safe spaces. They're more likely to get into something illegal than doing something legal.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you don't have access to youth outlets or anything positive going on between 5 to 7.
Mm-hmm.
If everything's closed at 5, where are they gonna go? And if they don't have nothing outside, where they gonna go?
Mm-hmm.
They're more likely to participate in something that they shouldn't be participating in. And so we provide music therapy, reading therapy, gardening therapy, and we also provide art therapy. And then we also combine our after school curriculum through a play therapeutic lens.
Mm-hmm.
And so we provide that too, where they can get access to everything's free, pantry free, therapy free, our after school tutoring is free. Everything we do is free. And that's what the Ross Center offers right there.
Mm-hmm. And
And
I'm
you come
sure.
in, you do an intake form, and if you have additional needs, we'll address that too.
And there's the picture of
Yep.
the Ross Center. Now, once upon a time, it's been a minute since we talked. Weren't you moving over here?
Yeah, yeah. Once upon a time, we was trying to purchase the church as well,
Mm-hmm.
and to expand our corridor,
Mm-hmm.
and it's still open for consideration. But we're just trying to figure out what's best for our business and our organization
Mm-hmm.
financially to
Mm-hmm.
sustain us.
Mm-hmm.
Because with all the cuts and funding
Mm-hmm.
and not really having access to grants, Indianapolis has not been the most progressive
Mm-hmm.
grant funding cities, and we're so behind on where we should be compared to Louisville, compared to Kansas City,
Mm-hmm.
compared to California. All these different areas have really been champion support and not just dependent on government funding.
How's that been going for you? Because I've been talking to different nonprofits when they come in, and I was with had somebody in here just recently, and they talked about how uh, they lost 90% of their funding with this last round at the state house, and there's organizations like yours that are continuing to try and help people, and the funding to help people is being cut, then the funding and the grants, and it's making it harder. I mean, have you? What kind of trouble have you run into with you serving a particular community that is made up of Black people? You can't use the word Black in grants. You can't
Yeah.
use the word diversity, equity, and inclusion. All these different things. How has that impacted you?
I mean, when we first started, we had this motto, and it used to be our favorite saying, was we really specialize in serving the people,
Mm-hmm.
not the funding. And so for the first few years, we wasn't getting no funding,
Mm-hmm.
and most of that was self funded.
Mm-hmm. So you
Um,
were broke.
yeah, we was broke, right? But also we was in a fortunate opportunity where we was learning
Mm-hmm.
how to have impact with the means
Mm-hmm.
with what we had.
But you have learned though
Yeah, so
that
we have learned eh,
nothing is free.
nothing is free, but also you have to be strategic.
Mm-hmm.
And so over the time, we was able to take our knowledge from having
Mhm.
little to nothing, and sustain us over time. So
Mhm.
when grants are being cut, we know how to build collaboration,
Mhm.
like partnerships. We know how to get in kind services to stand in that gap. But the main thing that takes a hit is our staffing
Mhm.
capacity,
Mhm.
because we went from one point in time, we was completely volunteer ran. A lot of people don't know that.
Mhm.
Like, I wasn't getting paid,
Mhm.
none of that.
Mhm.
So we've been around for almost 12 years, and
Mhm.
so now we have the capacity to give people jobs. But in 2 years, where would they be?
Mhm.
So I
Right,
have to
because it's
continue.
grant funded.
Exactly. And so we have to continue to grind, figure out innovative ways to compensate people. So some things I'm thinking about is, okay, we don't want to just depend on grants.
Mhm.
What's other options? What's other ways to generate revenue to bring in to sustain us? And so that's the conversations we're having. It's like, this is, even though it's a nonprofit organization,
Mhm.
it's still a business.
Mhm.
A lot of people don't people overlook that part.
Mhm.
This is a business,
Mhm.
so we have to think like in a way of, how do we generate business revenue?
Mhm.
How do we get donations here? How do we get donors here? How do we get paid for technical assistance or speaking engagements,
Mhm.
or doing proposals, projects, and presenting about what, doing trainings, or all those different things. How do we capitalize on what our strengths are? So, like, one of our strengths is outreach. That's one of the biggest challenges for most organizations.
Mhm.
A lot of people don't know how to get into the community. A lot of people don't know how to engage. A lot of people don't know how to interact. So, a lot of people come to us to say, hey, can you train us on how to do the outreach? Can you show us some key strategies
Mhm.
on how to connect with people and really get their information and really help them, and build that trust and relationship?
Mhm.
So that's what we do. We are great at.
Um, as the grant world
Yeah.
dries up and everything continues to be difficult, what one, are you guys going to be okay? But then two, do you, how do you plan to navigate? Because even if you're okay, that means there's an organization down the street that people are depending on, but then they're going to be having problems, and it's only going to create more people coming to knock on your door. How do you deal with that?
I mean, I tell people all the time, is like, it's gonna suck, because a lot of people, I feel for the employees,
Mm-hmm.
because this is their livelihood. It is careers. People go to school to go into the nonprofit world.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of people are banking on this support and funding to really sustain their work. And so when you cut that, you cut their jobs.
Mm-hmm.
You cut people's salaries. You cut people's dreams and goals
Mm-hmm.
of their household. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel for them in that regard. But also, I look at nonprofit, though. In the nonprofit world, we should start thinking about it differently. Is we shouldn't we need to get to a place where we are moving nonprofit work forward in a way where the goal is to get to a place where we don't are no longer needed.
Mm, correct.
But but we're far from that. And so, yeah,
Right
I
now,
feel.
the system, it doesn't feel that the system wants you to be out of work.
No, no, the system don't want us to be out of work, and so it's challenging. But we got to go back to. I mean, we've been here before.
Mm-hmm.
We wasn't always getting the funding.
Mm-hmm.
You know, especially being a person of color,
Mm-hmm.
like a leader in this space. We've been dealing with this
Right.
forever, and so now you're seeing other leaders that's not our background starting to deal with something we've been dealing with for ever, since the get go. We always been up against the status quo, and we never really got what we deserved. Like, say, I could do something special with $12,000,
Mm-hmm.
but and I could blow out the other grant, another organization that's maybe white led, and they
Mm-hmm.
just got $500,000
Mm-hmm.
to do the same thing, and they don't even have nowhere near half the results
Mm-hmm.
of what we had with
Mm-hmm.
$12,000. Put that into perspective, and so it's still challenging. I call it philanthropic inequities, where a black person applies for a large grant.
Mm-hmm.
We don't always receive, like, if we go for 500,000, it may come back and say, "Hey, we got 50,000 for you,"
Mm-hmm.
and they want us to do
The same.
the same,
Mm-hmm.
and try to figure it out after we have to cut our whole proposal down by you know, 450,000.
Mm-hmm.
So that's challenging. And so, but I will say, the IAAQQLI
Mm-hmm.
initiative, the Urban Link initiative, grant has kind of balanced that a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not prime.
Right.
This
It's
is their
still running.
last round.
Yeah.
They ran out now,
Yeah.
so hopefully they get it renewed or find another company to
Mm-hmm.
renew it, because that's been the only chance we have
Mm-hmm.
of receiving uh, the the funding we need.
We're going to talk some more about what you've been up to as far as fighting.
Yeah,
There's some apartment complexes on the east side um, that you need people to pay attention to because they are not taking care of their folks.
yeah.
We're going to talk about that in a second. More Fox 59 tonight coming up after this.